So maybe next time, just look at the profile of the person you are DMing. And I just tore them apart and blocked them. And then afterwards I was like, okay, I feel a little bit bad about that, but I'm tired of it.
Your business's success depends on relationships with customers, relationships with employees, and relationships with stakeholders. What do they all have in common? They're all human. Because no matter if your business is B2B or B2C, it's really H to H, human to human. Welcome to the Human Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Karl Pontau. Each week, I'll bring you stories, insights, and practical advice from experts that you can apply to your growing company and daily life. This week, I'm really excited to connect with Carly Olson. Carly is a brand master and marketing director for businesses, entrepreneurs, and coaches who feel stuck in their brands and are looking for a burst of energy to create the momentum they need to thrive in their market. For over 15 years, she's helped customers and solopreneurs in nearly every industry stand out with buzzworthy brands and strategic marketing strategies that silence the noise and bring newfound confidence to their value proposition. Congrats on bringing bursts of energy into brands, and welcome to the Human Connection Podcast.
Thank you, Karl. I'm happy to be here.
So one thing that I see a lot of companies doing that is a big mistake is trying to cut corners and find these quick fixes for bigger underlying problems with their brands. And so what are some of the biggest kind of egregious errors people make when they're trying to cut these corners, and what are the ways you help them fix those problems?
So a lot of the times the clients that come to me for help in the instances where their brands have just become completely stagnant and they feel out of control of their brand, of their marketing, is because they listened to too many people. I know a lot of people in the entrepreneurial space and the business space, we love sucking in knowledge. We love having coaches and attending events and reading books and listening to podcasts. And it is so much input. And a lot of the times I see people who have 2 or 3 different business coaches. They listen to 3 podcasts a week on their way to work. They're reading 2 or 3 books at a time, and they start grasping at all of these magic bullets that are, my coach told me to do this, I'm going to go do this. My competitor's doing this, I'm going to do this, but put more money into it. And they're off doing 10 different things, but they're not giving any of those 10 different things 100% of their energy and time. So nothing actually gets seen to fruition. Nothing is actually done to its full potential. And they end up quitting things just as fast as they started. So by far the biggest mistake is just having too much input in your brand, in your marketing, and not focusing on actually who you are in the first place, regardless of who everyone else tells you you are.
Yeah, I can see that, especially for smaller businesses or solopreneurs where they're wearing many hats and they only have so much time in the day and they can't delegate something to a huge team. If you're not laser focused on the next bottleneck or the thing that you really need to be focused on, and you keep trying to dilute your efforts and your time and your ability to do a good job, then you're not going to be making any progress, because there's just no way you can do all the things that other people suggest well. And so when it comes to the brand, what are some of these magic bullets you've seen that people keep trying to do, and what's the like more effective way of addressing those problems instead of just trying to find a quick solution?
Oh gosh, I'm sure we've all experienced it. I'm sure all of your listeners have experienced it, whether it's by email or a phone call, or what I've been getting a lot of lately, LinkedIn messages, is just people jumping into your inbox, assuming that they know you and saying, hey, I'm so-and-so, let me know when you have time for a call. Or they're buying leads and all of a sudden you're getting text messages or you're on email lists that you didn't sign up for, which is now illegal, but it still somehow happens. Or people are just contacting you and you don't know who they are. And in this realm of like, on social media and just in the world today, we are overexposing ourselves. There are people that know a lot of things about us that we don't even realize, and we've done it to ourselves. However, in our brains, we still are not giving these people permission to contact us. We don't know them as much as they think they know us. And the bigger your business gets, the more exposure you have, especially if you are the face of your brand. You have people out there that think they're friends with you. They think they know you. You're sharing things on social media. You're sharing your expertise on LinkedIn. You're talking about yourself at events, and you have hundreds, even thousands of people that know your story and therefore think they have a relationship with you because they know all about you, but you would not know their face if they walked right up to you on the street. So it's a lot of these just cheating to get in the rooms with people, which is what a lot of like business coaches will tell you to do, get in the room with the right people. But it's not just about being in the room, it's about actually knowing the people that are in the room. And so many people assume relationships and chase relationships, but don't take the time to build them. And that's where the disconnect is. You can't jump into a room with someone and instantly do business with them. The trust is not there yet. And that's the whole point. That is one of the pillars of a strong brand, is establishing not only a customer journey and building trust with a customer, but building trust with just the people that are going to help you in your own business. The trust has to be there. You don't have a relationship.
Yeah, there's that middle step between know and trust, the like part. And I think that people can know a lot about you from the information they get, but you're not going to, one, you don't know them, and two, you don't necessarily like them, especially. And so there's no way you're going to trust them when they first reach out to you. And a lot of people, with how easy it is to generate content or like reach out to people in DMs or, like I said, get on email lists, they forget that it takes time to build these relationships, and or even what the steps they have to take to build a relationship. They just assume, like you said, because they think they know you, that they can assume how you're actually feeling at a certain point, and just you'll respond according to some script they had, or some funnel idea they have for their business, when in reality they're not meeting you where you are, and they're not building a real relationship. They're just trying to go for a transactional result. And there's just so many options for people to do transactions with, that you're not going to just go with the latest person who bombs your DMs with a pitch slap.
Sure. I mean, I received a LinkedIn message from someone the other day referencing a point in my career that was on my LinkedIn profile. It was a past career role, but I have not worked in that role for 6, almost 7 years now. And he inboxed me referencing that, like, oh, I see you're in this space. What time do you have for a call this week to talk about our technology? And I tore him apart in my response. I didn't even care anymore. He got me on a bad day. And I was just like, hey, if you took any time, even a split second, to look at my profile before you messaged me, you would understand that this contact is completely inappropriate and irrelevant. And I'm like, thank you for showing me that you purchased my name from a lead pool from a company that sold my information to you, saying, hey, Carly Olson at one point worked in this industry. She's a lead for you. It is completely irrelevant to me. And what made it worse was, I think the service he was offering was like funnel building, which is literally what I do in my company, one of the services I offer. So I was like, dude, not only are you contacting me about a role I was in 7 years ago, but you're also offering me a service that I provide for my own clients. So maybe next time, just look at the profile of the person you are DMing. And I just tore him apart and blocked him. And then afterwards I was like, okay, I feel a little bit bad about that, but I'm tired of it.
Yeah. And these days, it probably was that he was using some automated tool that he probably didn't even know he sent you a message. It was either like a third party or like an AI generating that basically scrubbed through and saw some keywords and threw together this pre-written thing and just sent it. And that guy probably had never even actually looked at your profile himself.
For sure.
But instead of building his brand up and building a relationship, he's now just like burning bridges at a faster pace than ever, because you might have someone who could like wouldn't be a good fit for your service. Maybe you could refer him business later on if you like, because you do this similar sort of work now, but he's never going to have that opportunity to build a relationship because the initial touch point was so kind of forceful and ham-fisted and just disrespectful. And I think it's this idea of cutting these corners of building the know, like, trust relationship that end up a lot of companies shoot themselves in the foot because they go out with this hard sell approach and thinking they can skip the relationship building or speed up the relationship building with a few emails or a couple content posts and think all of a sudden you're going to be best as buds forever and people will buy from you. But you have to treat people like people first and build a real relationship first before they're going to buy from you. And even though the technology makes it easier and faster to connect with people or contact them, it doesn't mean that people are going to be open to it unless you treat them like people first. And people seem to forget that they're still a human on the other end of the message you're sending.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the danger of using AI tools. I'm absolutely not against AI. When it first came out, just like everyone else in the creative space, I briefly panicked and was like, oh my God, it's going to steal my job. And then I very quickly realized exactly what you just said. AI cannot replace the humanity of relationships. And that guy from LinkedIn purchased probably hundreds, if not thousands of leads, contacted a whole bunch of them, and then relied on just probability. Maybe 20 of the 1,500 he got actually responded. And then he was able to build a relationship with them or connect with them in person. But it doesn't replace that. Even using things like image generators or ChatGPT for copywriting or planning or anything like that, you still have to put your brand voice into the machine. You have to have it learn you. You have to edit it. You have to, for heaven's sakes, proofread it. I can't tell you, you go on anyone's social media and you can pick out the captions that are AI generated in a second. But you can't replace humanity with it, at least not right now. You can't replace that human interaction because there's something just a little bit off about it. And that's what kills the trust in the relationship. And if that trust is gone, you're going to get reactions like mine that I had of, like you said, it just like completely burning a bridge before you even get to cross it.
Yeah, it's the thing that I often mention to people when this topic comes up is that, yeah, technology and the business world is moving really quickly and advancing really rapidly, but the way our brains work and the way how we build relationships with people, like our internal OS hasn't changed for like much, if all at all, in like 100,000 years or so, ever since like civilization kind of started. People started like working in societies and stuff. And so people forget that there's a human involved and they aren't thinking about how they would respond to the sort of content they're putting out or their approach they're taking. And I think it's part of when you are building a brand, if you're doing it right, you have to keep in mind that your brand is really the relationship people have with your business when you're not in the room, like how they feel about you. And if you start with that focus and then think, okay, how do I want people to feel about my brand instead of what do I want to tell them, and make it all about the other person, it guides your actions and the way you approach people and the sort of outreach you do. It changes that whole paradigm because you're not just thinking about your own best interest, you're thinking about what's going to build a strong relationship with the other person. And I'd imagine when you're working with clients, one of the first things you have to do is they present what they think their brand is, and it's usually just like a graphics and logo and a font setting. No, you gotta, let's think about this in an entirely different way, because most founders and entrepreneurs just don't understand what the real value of the brand is, what their brand actually is.
Exactly.
So if there's someone who's maybe having an aha moment that, oh, maybe I need to fix my brand, what's going to have a good starting point or a good thing they should look at to start making moves in the right direction? What's your usual like first step for them to take?
That is my very first step in my branding sessions with my clients, is establishing their value proposition. And I tell them, I'm sure people have heard of the elevator pitch, but if you got trapped in an elevator with someone and you were going up to the 50th floor and you had 30 seconds to tell them who you are, what you do, what problem you solve, you need to be able to say that on command. And 9.9 out of 10 businesses I work with cannot do that. And I usually work with the business owner and I say, in 30 seconds, tell me what you do. And they instantly start stumbling over their words. They start listing their services. They start saying, oh, well, I named my company after my kids or my grandma's dog, Fluffy, that I was, really close with as a small child. So that's why my HVAC company is called Fluffy's HVAC. Like, they just start droning. And I'm like, I don't want to do business with you. I don't know what you provide me. I don't know what the solution is. And I have no interest in doing business with you. So let's fix this. And by the end of our branding session, they can spit it out in 2 or 3 sentences. And I know exactly how I am going to benefit from them, what problem they are going to solve, how they are going to make my life easier. And you have to be able to convey that with telling people about what you do. And it doesn't mean listing your services. It doesn't mean talking about what areas you serve. They can find all that out on the website. Your mission as a business owner is to just mention yourself to someone and do it in an engaging and a valuable way, where you take a step and just tell them what value you provide, and then they take 2 steps towards you and say, okay, I want to learn more. How can I do business with you? And that is the hook that all businesses need to nail down and solidify, is how do you engage people in an instant, in a short attention span, to get them interested enough to ask you questions? Because that's what marketing is nowadays. 15, 20, 30, 50 years ago, you just blasted it out to everyone with a big megaphone and you just started screaming at everybody to come to you, and they did. Now, consumers are very selfish and they're very apprehensive, and they need to come to you. They need to feel in control. So you can't do what I call the icky used car salesman method, which, sorry if used car salesmen are any of your demographic, I mean, no disrespect, but it's typically that, like, Sunday flyer, the promos, the bright colors, blam, like screaming at your customer, this is me, come look. You have to just kind of sit back and just very directly and intentionally engage with people, and then allow them to be in control and come to you.
Yeah, and it's about explaining your value in terms of what they care about and how it helps them, and meets them where they are, instead of the focus being all on what you're making and what you do and the things you are excited about for the business. You have to frame it in terms of what they're gonna get from the relationship, and showing understand how they're feeling right now and how they want to be feeling. But you have to start by asking them the questions and wanting to learn and showing interest in them, not just showing interest in what you're trying to sell. And it's a fine line, and it can be a subtle reframe, but when it's done well, it's a breath of fresh air for so many people that are sick of getting like the megaphone right in the ear, people yelling at them for attention, instead of showing that they want to build a relationship and understand you as a person first, who has a problem, not as someone who could potentially buy what I'm selling.
Yep, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for connecting with me today. If you enjoyed this episode of the Human Connection Podcast, please like it, leave a review, and share it. If you'd like to connect with myself or Carly, please check out the links in the show notes. And remember, no matter if your business is B2B or B2C, it's really H to H, human to human. Happy connecting.